say it says we're live, doesn't it?
Yes, you're live.
Hello. So possibly we're live. Let's have a look. See if I can. Yay!
Oh.
Yay! So hello. Oh dear, turn that off. You don't want to hear me twice. Is that a little bit bright? I don't know. Is that too bright?
It's on your face, actually.
It is, isn't it? I wonder if it's that one.
No,
No, it's from the side. So this is my new light situation that was to help with the side lightage, but I think that's okay. I think we're okay.
You happy with that?
I think so, yeah. Hello everyone. I hope that everyone's well. We are just getting set up because we're hopefully multi-streaming, so that may obviously affect, you know, we don't know whether it's going to affect the quality of the stream or anything, so we don't know how this is going to work yet. So but it looks like we're live on YouTube, which is fine. In terms of being, are we? Oh yay, we're on Facebook as well. So hello Facebook, hello YouTube, yay. Excellent. I'm hoping we're going to be able to see all of your comments here. Let me just click that. Sorry, I'm going to press it. It's because I'm using my left hand. Yay! That's it. So I can see comments on Facebook and YouTube as well. Oh, that's awesome. Excellent. Thank you for your help, Ant. So Anthony was just here helping me get set up so that we can we know everything's working and that we're live. So yay, this is the first time that I've done a live both to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So this is really, really exciting. You'll have to bear with me in terms of keeping up with your chat, because like I say, I am trying to monitor both at the same time from my PC. I'm just going to turn it around a little bit so that I can see it a little bit better. I've got YouTube up in front of me so I can see the chat on YouTube, I think she says. But there's always a little bit of a delay, isn't there? So I think we'll just get going, shall we? Yeah, I'm struggling to see comments, but I'm sure we'll work it out. It's showing me as being logged into it rather than viewing. Oh, that's because this is more like it. Yay! Now we're on it. Okay. Hello everyone. Hi Mickey, how are you? So you're watching me on YouTube, which is awesome. So hopefully I'm going to be able to keep up with everything and we're going to be able to work with this. Like I said, there is a little bit of a time delay on both channels, so hopefully things will work out perfectly. Let's get some crafting done because I have got a great idea for a card today. Well, hopefully it's a great idea. Who knows whether it will turn out that way. As you know, I tend to have a rough idea of what I'm going to do, but it doesn't always work out that way or the way that I intended. So, but if you are here and you're watching either on YouTube or on Facebook, please do add a comment and say hello, because I would love to know if this was working perfectly fine across both channels. But it seems okay from what I can see so far. Yay! Okay, and you also get to see a little bit of my face, which I don't know whether that's a good thing or not, but you don't normally get to see that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Maybe if I've not put my makeup on and I've not brushed my hair, we won't always have that view. But we'll see. Okay. Hello Josh, how are you? And Jane. So we've got lots of people joining us on Facebook, which is really cool. So that means that is working. So I'm really chuffed with that. That's really good because you know what I'm like with technology. I'm absolutely hopeless. I was also hoping to be wearing my new Time for Tea Designs hoodie that a couple of you have commented on, but it's really warm in here when all the lights are on, so unfortunately I think I would have been sweating too much. So to the card then, let's make a card, shall we? Hello Alice, how are you? Oh, I'm so pleased that I can see your comments, so pleased. Okay. So the card that I'm going to make today is going to be a get well card. And there's two reasons for me being inspired to make this card. One being that my little cat, Clyde, is really not very well at the moment. He's really poorly and he's really old. He's 20 years old and we're really struggling to, I suppose, keep him well and comfortable. He's not really eating and yeah, that we're, you know, I would really want him to feel better, but I don't know if there is any chance of him getting any better, bless him. So so I was thinking about him, but I also have a very good friend, a crafty friend, Leslie from Heffy Doodle, who is not very well herself at the moment. So I thought that maybe a get well card was quite appropriate for the moment and would make a nice card to send to her, perhaps to make her feel a little bit better. So that's the plan for today. And I'm going to use the All Occasion Critters stamp set, which is a really great set because it's suitable for all occasions. So in this set we have this cute little this little cat with his umbrella, and the sentiment that goes with him is "Sorry you're feeling under the weather," which I think is a nice little sentiment to send to somebody who's feeling a bit rough at the moment. So we're going to use that. The other items that I've got out at the moment, and there are a couple of others that I need to just grab. I've got a couple of A2 size card blanks that I think I'm probably going to use as my base. So I've got out, that's the A6 one. I have got out the A2 layers die set, which I'll probably use. I've got some of my watercolour, the Time for Tea Designs watercolour cardstock. Because I promised you in Thursday night's live that I was going to do a little bit of watercolouring. I've not used my Arteza brush markers since I bought them, which was, I can't even remember how long ago it was. It was ages ago, and I really want to use them. So that's in the plan for today. And I've also got the heart nesting dies because I feel like I may cut out a panel. I've got some Lawn Fawn Fairy Dust Stencil Paste because I feel like we may do a bit of stenciling. So there's going to be lots. This is going to be a clean and simple-ish kind of a card, but there's going to be some craftiness involved. So the other bits that I wanted to grab, let me have a look here, because I wanted to grab a stencil. And the stencil that I had in mind, I don't know if I've popped it in my binder already. I haven't yet, so I do still need to do this. This is such a good way of storing your stencils because I always struggle to find the one that I want. So I am going to be transferring all of my stencils into my binder so that I can flip through and grab the one I need really quickly instead of boring you all while I randomly flick through every stencil that I've got in my stash. And that, I think that's going to be a nice little evening project for me to do. I'm also going to be using, so that's the Raindrops Stencil. We're going to use some of that for sure. Let me pop that back actually. I can go back up there. And then I'm also going to use so I've got another binder here that's got all my smaller dies in, all my sentiments. Because again, they're ones that tend to go walkabouts quite frequently, and I really want to be able to find them much more easily. So these are some little pockets that I've had for ages, but I think I'm going to transfer them into my actual pockets, proper inserts for the actually I was going to use I'll come back to that, but I'm going to take this out because I wanted a rainbow, so I am going to pull that out. And then where's my hugs die? That's the one that I want, which is the one that's not in here because it's a new release. So it's still in my little new release folder. So yeah, the inserts that actually come with the binder are perfect for popping some of your smaller dies in. So let me grab this because it is from the most recent hooks. That was also in the plan. And like I say, I was thinking of a rainbow. So bear with me while I just get the set, the brighter days. Excuse me. I am still here. I'm just flicking through all of my wonderful stamps, and now I'm looking at all of these others and thinking, oh, I need to use that one, I need to use that one. There we go. It's the Storms Don't Last Forever stamp set. I've also pulled this one out as well, which is the Be Kind, Be You set. And this has got some amazing little sentiments in it as well that are great to send to people who you know, are just struggling at the moment, or just to send them some positive thoughts, like the Be Brave, and the You Are More Amazing Than You Know, Hugs Enclosed. We've got Smile, You Got This. So there's just some really lovely sentiments in this set, and I think this one's a really good one for the upcoming Valentine's as well. And then this one, I Miss Your Face, to send to a friend you've not seen for a while. I think that's really cool. And then the Storms Don't Last Forever set has obviously these rainbows, which are super, super cool. And the greater the storm, the brighter the rainbow. Storms don't last forever. And then you've got the Somewhere Over Your Rainbow, which I think is really cute. But you can also, you've got the coordinating dies for your rainbow. So what that means is that you can either die cut, you can stamp and then die cut these elements, or you can just cut the rainbow pieces out of cardstock. So I think that's what we're going to do today with that. So we've got lots of different elements, or you could use the we could use this rainbow die as well, which is also really fun. And I might do that because I've got an idea of how we can make a watercolory rainbow. But I've not done any watercolouring for a long time, so please bear with me because this is going to be an experiment. Oh, I can see we've got lots of people joining us on Facebook. I can't see any YouTube comments, but I don't know whether that means I have to look separately on YouTube. So I don't think so. I think I'm doing it the right way. So Naomi's with us. Hello, always late to the party. Jane says, good idea for storage. And Alice says, oh, sorry, my lovely kitties are so awesome. We send lots of love. Oh, they are so lovely. And he's been with me, oh, for almost all of my life. Hello there. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce your name. It's a lovely viewer on YouTube, and I really am sorry that I can't pronounce your name because it looks Russian. But hello there. So I'm just chopping up some of this cardstock because obviously I don't need all of it. I'm going to be working on an A2 card base. Where's my card base gone? And like I said, I haven't decided which one of these we're going to go for. We might even go for a white one, but I thought I'd pull these out just for, you know, just so that we know what we're doing really. So I am going to cut this down to more or less the size that I want. So that's about 4 1/4, isn't it? Typically. So this piece will be a little bit smaller, but that will fit for a what's the word I'm looking for? On an A6 size card base. So let's just, I'm going to cut these other pieces up too. One of the things that I like to do is have pieces of cardstock ready to go that are pre-cut, and I did think that I'd got some pre-cut, but turns out I didn't. So we're going to start with the watercolor base first, because it's going to take a little bit of time to dry, and I want to be able to you know, give it the time that it needs before we add anything to it, because that's the danger. So let's make a cute little watercolory background. The thought process is that we will have this in the background, and we will probably cut out a nice big heart shape from this piece, so, or over the top of this piece, should I say. And I might go with a really nice big bold piece, but because obviously we've got our sentiment, so let's have a look, see how this is going to look. Do a little bit of card positioning. So we've got the hugs there, and I've also pulled out my Tippy Tappy typewriter set here, because we can build our own sentiment of sending, which I think would look quite good. We could build that over the top. I've also got then, like I say, I've got my little rainbow here, which is potentially going to go just there. So I think the big one is going to look really quite cool. And so you can see how we're building this up. Let's have a look. And then we're going to have our little cat here. So let's see what the smaller one might look like, because he's only a small cat, isn't he? So we're going to have a little bit of a rainbow. We're going to have some hugs either at the bottom there, or I think that might look quite cute. That's kind of the composition I'm going for. Hello everyone. Jane says the reason she joined on Facebook is because she got a notification on her phone that you're going live, so maybe that's more people are joining this way. Yeah, that might be right. Hi Claire, hi Naomi. Watching on YouTube as well as Facebook because you like it on a bigger screen. Oh, you'll have to tell me what the quality looks like then, because that would be really, you know, keen to know that. Definitely. Just bear with me. Let me just do this, and I don't know whether that's working. Okay, so just doing it, just learning a few bits and how to, you know, get things working. So it's a work in progress, like anything technical, you know. It's going to take a bit of getting used to, but we'll get there. So I've got all kinds of bits all over the place here now, so let me just pop these away for now because we don't need them. But I think we've got an idea of what we're doing. Kind of. So this is my little bit of watercolouring experiment. I'm going to use my stenciling mat here because we're going to be getting a bit messy. Well, not messy because I don't really do messy, but just in case we have any watery splatters. And the other thing is that I can use this as a little bit of a watercolour palette, is my thought process. Sorry, I've gone a little bit wonky there. I don't know which way to make it unwonky. You can see me having a drink now, which is, I normally do that in secret. But you need to keep hydrated. Okay. Let's have a think. How should we do this? So these are my new markers. I've got quite a lot of these Arteza brush markers and various markers. These are the twin markers. So they do have a brush on the end, but it is quite small in comparison to the new ones that I bought, which have a larger brush nib, which I think is really quite cool. So I am, like I say, I'm not 100% sure quite how I want to work this. Let me find. So I've got a number of like brushes, just general paint brushes here as well. And with this set, you did get an actual brush. Where's it gone? So you got one of these water brushes. It doesn't have, mine doesn't have any water in it at the moment, although I could dispense some water in that if I wanted to use that one. I've got a little bit of water here. I think it's water that I've used before, which is a bit naughty, but but I've also got here as well a Tombow blender brush, which I know some people do use. Now, the watercolour paper that I'm using, our watercolour cardstock, is not super smooth. It's got a bit of texture to it. So I feel like that's going to be a little bit harder to blend on with my my image. So when it comes to doing my image, I'm going to use the some Bristol Smooth that I've got. I just need to pull that out and find that. So just catching up on your comments. Naomi says that the quality looks great. That's fantastic. Julie says she almost forgot about the live today. Alice says she's so glad to give you my gold coins for crafty coolness. I'm doing a live at lunch, ordering some cool things. Ah, excellent. Excellent. Doing a live at lunch. Yes, that's me. Sorry, I thought you said you were doing a live at lunch. That's me not being able to read. Excuse me while I just blow my nose. I know. Yes, so we are managing to do a live now twice a week, on a Tuesday at lunchtime and then on Thursday evening. So, and I've also booked in, for those of you that have ordered any of the memory keeping stuff, I'm going to be doing a live once a month purely dedicated to memory keeping. One of the reasons for doing that is that I want to be able to get some time to do my own memory keeping, because I don't get time to do it. So the plan is that I will be able to do that along with you. And if you're interested in getting into memory keeping and don't really know where to start, well, then this will be a good opportunity for just to watch me doing, you know, my own bit of crafting, which is what you do when I do a live anyway. Right, let's get to it, because we're already 25 minutes in and I've not even done anything yet. Okay, so I've got a number of different blues. So we're going for a bit of a blue theme for our background here. So I've got a few blues here. Never tested any of them. Not got a clue about any of these colours. I've got some nice blues here as well, some lighter blues, which look very, very nice. This is in the twin tip. In fact, the twin tips, there are so many colours here. It's pretty amazing the amount of colours that you get. You also get some really nice kind of aqua colours in that set, which I'm really keen to use. And I think there's some of the other colours in the other set that would go really, really well with that. So they're very nice. But I'm going to go with the blue this time. I think is my plan. So let's do a little bit of swatching. I've got a bit of extra cardstock here, and let's just do a little bit of swatching on here. You see, some of these are really quite bright, but once you add your water to them, they are really going to, you know, their colours will alter. And let's try one of these larger. Oh, I can't get the lid off. Oh, that's really very much of a softer nib there on the larger brush. That's very cool. Okay. And then the Tombow blender does work with the Arteza. Look, that is blending that out really nicely. And the same there actually with the larger brush. So that's really nice actually. I like how that's working. So, and then if we were to use our brushes on those, let's see how they change. We add a little bit of water there. Very, very nice combination of colours. A bit too much water on that one, but that's okay. And then we'll go into that one. That's much more vibrant. They're blending really, really nicely actually. And the great thing about using a watercolour cardstock that is different to just using your regular cardstock is that you will get less of a pill. So it does look like there's a bit of pill in there, but not as much as you would get if you were to use regular cardstock. And then what I'm doing is I'm just blending those three colours together. So add a little bit of more water, and then these three colours, blend those together. I think that looks really, really, really nice. So the colours that I was really, really impressed with there, I think I like all of these three colours, and I really, really do like the brighter blue here. I think that was that one, wasn't it? Ooh. So we've got this blue, and I think this one was really quite nice. Yeah. And then maybe let's that's, you see how that's more like gives me more of a felt tip kind of a feel, but that's okay, because what we can do is we can scribble some of that onto here and take our brush to the surface there, and that's really going to soften that for when we come to do our background. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I think this is my plan. Oh, I don't know why it's done that to me. So I'm just going to scribble some of this onto my silicone mat here, which is what it's perfect for. And I'm actually going to use a slightly bigger brush here. So because I want to apply quite a lot of this onto my surface, and I'm not going to be too precise with this. We're just going to randomly pop this on here. Again, I'm just gonna get some inks flowing onto my mat here, and you can go back in once we've added a bit of colour. So I'm just going to randomly dot some water about, add some more of this colour. This is what's great about using watercolour, is that it doesn't have to be so precise. And I'm going using the darker blue at the top and then bringing that down with the mid colour that we chose, and then the light colour at the bottom. So that's looking quite good. And if we then go to, I'm quite pleased with how that looks, but the great thing again about watercolour, and if you're using a watercolour cardstock, is you can really build that up. So imagine if we've got our heart, which bit we might want to select, and I'm liking that that's filling up my heart really nicely. So I'm going to be a bit noisy now, and I'm just going to use my heat gun, and as you move the paper around, you're going to get some drips, which I really like. So I'm going to heat this from underneath a little bit and from the top as well. Keep turning it around so that we can control some of those drips a little bit. Heat on both sides so that we can prevent some of the warping. Excellent. Love that. Oh, dropped it. Okay, so you're going to get a little bit of warping because we're dealing with watercolour. Now, you can either leave it like that, or we can intensify some of that colour by just going back in with another layer, if you like. So scribble some of that on there and some of that there. And then let's just add another little layer of that lighter colour. And you're going to then get some bits of different, it's not going to, it will merge a little because it's watercolour and watercolour moves, but because you've dried a layer first, it is going to help the next layer be a little bit more intense. So you're going to get layer upon layer, which was my darker colour. I think I want a little bit darker, just in some of those areas. That's it. Like that. Yes. So now you can see that we're building up that kind of watercolour background, which is really cool. Alice says, can the Brighter Days sentiments be foiled? My laser printer died. So the Brighter Days sentiments, can they be foiled? The Christmas ones can. I'm not sure about the Brighter Days ones. I don't think they can, Alice. I think because they're a matte ink, they don't foil. So, but I am inclined to bring out another foiling set very soon because I do like being able to foil the sentiments. It's very, very cool. Julie says she needs to learn her flowers for college tonight, though now better and able to go again. Yay! That's good. I'm glad you're feeling better. Apologies for the noise. So just drying that off now, so that we can move to the next stage. Because the next stage is going to be the bit that's going to need a bit of drying time. Because what I want to do is do an overlay of the raindrops with some of our ink. Now, the one thing that I did just want to do before that actually is I'm probably going to cut this down because once that stencil paste is on there, it's going to be pretty hard to that's the A6 one again, isn't it? I keep bringing that one out. I need to just remove that before I use that one by mistake. So let's have a look. Alice says, how relaxing is that? Love it. Order placed. Yes, please, as I love foiling sentiments. Excellent. I will, yes, definitely looking into that, Alice, definitely. So, and thank you so much for your order. That's really, really lovely of you. It's been super, super busy since the release, and I'm so grateful to everyone who's placed orders. You are amazing. So, using my A2 as a bit of a guide, I feel like that's quite a nice border because we want to be able to show as much of this as possible. So let's just see how much of this we're going to need. I think that's going to be a good position. Just there. So this is where I'm going to cut out my piece. Where is my washi tape? Oh, have I just knocked the? Hope I've not knocked the webcam there. I don't think I have. I've got such an intricate system of of cameras and things around me and lights. It's quite tricky. You may yeah. So this is going to be noisy again, and you'll get to see my little station back here now, which you don't normally get to see. This is where my Gemini machine is, and this is where it spins around and makes a noise, and sometimes comes unplugged. But I do love it. So I'm just going to pop this through here, and hopefully you'll be able to see it go through like so. But I do just have to monitor it so it doesn't fall off the other end. So you're getting a little bit more of a view of my workspace, aren't you, behind me? Now we're doing it this way. So let me just carefully as possible remove my washi tape. I'll save that for later. Julie says, managed to stamp and die and cut loads of images ready to craft, but not done a card yet. Harry's taken all my light switches from the spoon set to put on the card for his friend. Each side of the card was a different room, so hence needing 4 light switches. What a cool idea. I love that. That is really, really cool. So the front piece of this, I'm toying with, do we do it in a corresponding watercolor paper, because our usual cardstock is quite bright white. So let's just grab some of that. So we could have the bright white over the top of that. Excuse me. So I'm going to cut that out, and we'll cut out the heart as well. It's only a piece of cardstock. If we don't like it, we can cut it from the watercolor cardstock if we prefer. So you see now that's because I've twisted it. The power source comes undone for some reason. Very noisy that, isn't it? Very cracky that one. Okay, so we've now we've got our piece that is going to go over the top. I'll cut the heart out after, possibly. So that's the bit that's going to lay over the top of that, and it's going to have our heart cut out of it. You see. So before I add any stencil paste to this, so that I know I'm lining this up in the right place, this is going to be easier to do like so. Do you see the method in my madness here? Because now I know how much of my image I want in the background. So pop that on there. We'll pop that to one side now that's positioned, and I'm going to just move some of these guys over here because we're not using those just yet. But I'm going to keep my little swatch because that will come in handy when we come to do our little character. Because I'm going to watercolour him as well, and I'm going to probably just use a bit of paper towel just to wipe that for the moment. Now the difficulty that I've got here is that normally you would pop once you've used your stencil pastes, that's easy for me to say, you would pop them straight into some water, cold water, lukewarm water or whatever you prefer to wash them, so that the stencil paste doesn't like set on there. But you I don't have access to that at this moment in time. So what I am going to do is just use a baby wipe to clean it for the moment, which will work, but it's not ideal. So let's put these away, out of the way. Trying to stay tidy as we go. But I love using stencil paste. The only problem with stencil paste is it takes a bit of time to dry. But I'm hoping that in this lovely warm room we can get it to dry. And I'm only going to be using a little bit of it because we're only going to be seeing what's in that heart. So I'm not going to do the entire panel. We're just going to do part of. So what I'm tempted to do, because my cardstock is bowing slightly, is I might just use a little bit of washi just to hold it down, just because I don't want it to move around too much. I want to get a really nice layer of paste. One of my little doodahs. Right, what did I do with that paste? There it is, hiding behind my pens. Okay, so getting lots of chat here on Facebook. Not so much chat on YouTube today. I don't know if that's just me not being able to see it properly, but for you guys that are watching on YouTube, do say hello. I'd love to hear from you. So this is Lawn Fawn stencil paste, and I've got some around the edge there. This is lovely. This is the fairy dust. Really, really nice. Sparkly. So, and it adds a little bit of texture as well. The great thing about adding it over the watercolour rather than over your distress inks is that it won't, the colour isn't going to bleed. It doesn't always bleed from your distress markers, but it can. It's one of the things that can happen because they are water based. They've got they will react with something wet over the top. So when I'm using the watercolour pens, because I've dried it, it's less likely to reactivate. So what I want to make sure is that I've got enough of a coverage. So it's a bit like you're plastering a wall almost, or somebody said like buttering your toast, but depends how thick you like your butter on your toast, I guess. But you want to make sure that all of those holes are nicely filled, so that when you remove your stencil, you're going to have got that nice little bit of dimension that we want. So be careful not to scrape too much off when you go back and kind of clean off the stencil to remove what you've already popped into those spaces, because the whole point is that you want to create a bit of sparkly dimension. So I think that we've just about got that. I feel like there's just one little one there that's not got quite enough dimension for me. That looks pretty good though. I'm pretty impressed with that. So, cream on a scone. That's a great one, Alice. That is a great one. To be honest, there wouldn't be enough on here if it was one of Ant's scones. Let me tell you, it would be piled up. Hi Cam, how are you? Never seen Time for Tea live in my morning. No, this is a new a new regular occurrence, hopefully. Yeah, no, it definitely is. No, hopefully. We will be doing these every Tuesday lunchtime. Unless, of course, there's some, you know, major incident of some sort that prevents us from doing it. But the bit like on a, you know, the Thursday night, sometimes life gets in the way, doesn't it? But the intention is that every Thursday and every Tuesday we will be live on YouTube and on Facebook. So depending on where you prefer to watch us, you'll be able to catch us in both places, which is awesome. It also means then there isn't a delay on me uploading any catch-ups on an alternative channel. Oh, it's gonna be a whole new world, Okay, and I have to keep remembering that my camera's up there when I'm talking to you. So I've now made a mess on my on my what's it here, but that's okay because we can just wipe that clean. Now, like I say, I'm now covered in glitter as well. You would probably want to take that straight to your sink and give that a clean, but I'm not able to do that right now because I don't have access to it here. So I'm going to just use a couple of biodegradable baby wipes to just clean up my little mat here so that we can use that again later. But I've not really shown you the dimension on that is absolutely incredible. I'm gonna just wipe that edge off there. Hopefully you can see it, and I'm also just going to show it to the webcam as well. I don't know if the webcam will pick that up. So but the dimension on there is so beautiful. I love it. Awesome. Okay, so covered in glitter. Right, so we need to pop this to one side to dry. I'm going to pop that up there and hope to goodness that I don't knock it off. There we go. Should be fairly safe up there. So next stage then, let's pop this away. We've got our background sorted. Oh no, so I'm going to leave this out because my next stage is to do my rainbow. Yeah, I'm excited about my rainbow. Yay. So my rainbow, I'm going to use a smaller piece of the watercolor here, and rainbow colors we need. So let me have a quick look at my rainbow die. Where did you go? So the rainbow die's got 1, 2, 3. It's got 4 spaces so that it will cut. So really cute little rainbow that we're going to get here. So I think we can do a really cool rainbow. Let's have a look at what colours I've got here. I feel we've got some pretty colours. Yellow's got to be in there, green's got to be in there. So I've got maybe pink or a nice red colour. Yeah, that's gonna look nice. Okay, let's swatch out these colours. I'll move it down here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I've got a bit of green, bit of yellow, bit of peachy orange. That's really pretty. And then we've got a red. Oh, that's so cute. So then if we take our brush here in my mucky water and start with the green, and then we will blend the green into the orange. Love that. Julie says she's watching on YouTube on her TV but commenting on Facebook, as don't appear to be able to comment or see chat on YouTube for some reason. Oh, that's weird. Although I must admit I can't. I can comment. Shall I comment to myself? Hi me. Yay. So yeah, I can comment which is cool. So that's looking pretty good. I feel like this orange might not be quite bright enough, or is it the yellow is a bit too bright? Have we got a bit of a more subdued yellow? That is quite a bright yellow there. So I'm just looking into my, that's a bit too close to the orange, isn't it? I do love these Arteza markers, I have to say. See, that's very similar to the one that we've just used. And then this one looks like a much softer shade. So we might go with that one. I think that looks quite pretty, doesn't it? So I think I'm going to go with that as my colour options. And this is my my area for my, so I'm just going to draw around my die. This is where I want my rainbow to be, if that makes sense. So we're going to Heidi, hi. Who is that? That's got to be Anne, surely. Funny. Hello, Kelly. How are you? Lovely sunny day in Somerset. Oh, I'm so glad you're having a sunny day. Is anybody else having the most horrendous winds? And I don't mean like personally having wind. I mean just experiencing windiness in the weather. Okay, let's have a go at doing this then. So I'm not using this yellow. Let me put that away before I accidentally use it. And we're going to do the same process. I'm going to colour some of this yellow onto here. Some of my green, which is the first colour I'm going to use actually. Should have done that first. And then this lovely peachy orange, and then some red. I don't know whether my like voice activated thing is doing weird things to me. Oh, I don't know. Who knows what I'm doing? Super winds in Montana. Well, we are being blown away here. It's really very funny actually to see our cat Rosie being blown away. She's a very fluffy cat, and she looks really funny when she's been I might actually do, should we do a little bit of direct colouring on here just to give us a bit more of an intense yellow. I may add some more of that intense yellow over the top because they've blended really quite well together, haven't they, there? And let's try some of this orange. So I'm just creating a little bit of a rainbow shape with my brush. So we're almost drawing a rainbow. That red is awesome, but it's becoming the dominant colour. So we're just going to add a little bit more water. Doesn't matter if we go over the lines there, because we're going to die cut this, and it is only going to die cut the stripes as we go. So again, I'm just going to blast this with my heat tool. Excuse me, I just give my nose another little blow. So Julie says, it's sunny here, however only up the road from Kelly on YouTube in North Somerset. Breeze is chilly though. Yeah, we've got like cloudiness, windiness, just generally freezingness. Not good. So now you can see that we've got some of the colours are standing out, some not so much. So this is where we can go back in, and again we can add colour direct. So I think that's what I'm going to do here with this orange, because I want the orange to stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to paint that on directly, and then we can smooth that out with our brush, and it's just gonna just smooth out those areas a little bit, give us that really fun watercolory look. I love that, love it. Okay, so, and then I need to go in with the yellow. Now the yellow that we put back was too bright, but I feel like the yellow I used is not bright enough now. So I'm going to add some of that on the side here, and also a little bit of it just in some patches directly onto my paper. And then I'm going to pick up some of this colour here, and let's that back on there. Picked up a little bit of fluff there, but that is much better now. It stands out so much better, doesn't it? And that's going to merge. And I love that bit of watercolouring when you get a little bit of a tide mark. I actually quite like that. If you don't like that, you can just go in and, you know, smooth that out with your brush. But I like that. I think that's what is unique about watercolour over any other kind of medium, is that you get that nice effect. So let's add some more of this green, and again I am just going to add a few more bits direct to the paper, because we want that to really show up against the yellow. And I love this green. This green is lovely. And if your colour's not moving around enough, just add a bit more water. Love it. Okay, so the final touch to this, I think, is going to be to, obviously we're going to dry this off, but I do think that a little bit of shimmer on this is also going to work really, really well. So I am just going to see if I can grab. The other thing that you could do with your background is we have the Aquatini, we have the Winter Frost shimmer sprays. You could, if you don't have the watercolours, just spritz these colours on your background and mix them together. They would look really cool, and that is a good idea. I will do that. Hello to Annalisa. She says, hello watercolour, a rainbow of watercolour, and you have done picture in picture. Well done me. Yay, well done me. I know, I'm so pleased. Alice says, sunny Northampton, but chilly. Aussie cat, very, very old 218, keeps on moving with the sun. Just got the rainbow dye out, bit of speedy craft for your lunch. Excellent. I love that you're getting to do a little bit of speedy crafting over your lunch. So I'm going to, while this is still a little bit wet, and I'm hoping that you guys are going to be able to see this, I've just given my shimmer spray a little bit of a shake up, and I'm going to do some really high spraying, which is sprayed pretty much everywhere but on my surface. I'm absolutely terrible at getting that in the right direction. I use my splatter box and still splatter everything. So I've just put a little bit of splatter on the back there. How lovely does that look? I think that is so pretty. Look, oh yeah, you can see the shimmer there now. Awesome. So my splatter box, my trusty Pampers splatter box. And I have to say, I don't have any children, so why I've got a Pampers splatter box, I have no idea where that came from. Had it for years. But yeah, have no children. Work that one out. Okay, so we need to give this a little wipage. Oh dear, I'm throwing things around. Right, so give that a clean, because I think we might be done with this now. We've done the messiest part of the crafting. So we can pop this away for the moment. So I'm thinking I probably don't even need to have this. Annalisa says that she is too. She never sprays where she needs to, and when you do, it's way too much. That's it. I'm quite nervous with it because I do it tends to be too much. Jay says, I was just wondering why you had a nappy box. That's it. I have absolutely no idea why I have that nappy box. I think something, I don't know, something that I ordered or something that, yeah, was probably packaged in it, and I've just kept it because I thought that'd make a great splatter box. And it did. Right, shall we dry this off a little bit? Let's try this. Good morning, Carrie. How are you? Good morning from Idaho. I'm so glad you could join me. So we've now got our little watercolor background here. Now I had this live was scheduled for an hour. It has taken already longer than an hour, so I do apologise. So if you were planning on watching this in your lunch, my bad. So let's have a look, see how we've managed to line up our die here. So I've got, let's have a look. We want red, we want yellow, orange and green, don't we? So let's have a look. It's not going to be perfect. But I think if I do it like so, that could work. And I'm going to just grab my my eraser here, because we might have some of that pencil showing. So I'm just going to attempt to rub that out, although because we've painted over it, I might struggle. Doesn't want to come off. Never mind. I don't think we're going to worry too much about that. I don't think that we're going to see any of that, if I'm honest. So I'm going to line that up there, because these are the elements that are going to cut out these bits. It does cut out the frame as well, and the frame is going to look really pretty in the watercolour as well. But it's the bits in the middle that I want to use. So let's pop this through. Let's get my plates lined up. Is there anybody else crafting along today? I'm glad you're well, Polly. So did anybody hear the oh, a couple of bits left on my plates there. So cute. Did anybody hear the announcement on our stories yesterday about our classes that we're going to be doing soon? So those of you that follow us regularly know that we've recently moved into a little not an office building, actually. It's more of an events venue. And excuse me, you look at that. I mean, I could use that piece. That's so cute. I'm going to show that to you because that's really cute. I don't know if you can see that, but you can now. Oh my goodness. Love that. But then we've also got the individual pieces here as well, which are going to make up our cute little rainbow. Love this. So I'm going to pop those all to one side. So I could use either of those. They would both look really cute, I think. And our background is drying quite nicely there. Just give it a little bit of a manipulation to straighten it out. But I don't think it's warping too badly, actually. It's not really warping at all. So while we're doing some die cutting, I'm going to die cut this piece. And I need to have a think about what colour I want my sentiment to be, because I've not really thought about that. That's the hooks stitched sentiment. That's the rest of our piece. So, yes, announcement. Jane says, woohoo, crafty classes. Julie says, seeing stories and super excited. Cam says, yes, making cards from all my bits and pieces. Oh, so you're crafting along with all your bits and pieces. I love that. So, yes, our announcement on our stories yesterday was that we are going to be starting face-to-face classes in our new premises. So I'm so excited about this because we've been wanting to do it for such a long time and I didn't have the space to do it. And then I booked some space in a local library right before COVID hit. We got it all booked in, all ready to go. And then, like I say, COVID hit and that was the end of that. Now we seem to be coming out of a period, pretty bad period with COVID, and we are hopefully can be able to do more of these things now. I thought now's the time to start booking them in, and we've got our own venue to do it in, so it's ours to do with what we want, which is awesome. So the first one that is definitely booked in is the 19th of February, which is very, very soon. So I've got lots of work to do to get that up and running. So this is, oh, look at our little rainbow here. This is very, very sweet. I do like the dark blue background. Digging the dark blue. So that's our little rainbow, little shimmery rainbow. Or we could use that. But I think I'm going to use the freestyle bit. Cute. So it's starting to come together, isn't it? So yeah, so that's the first bit, is that we're going to have those, and I'm hoping that we are going to why is that getting in my way? Go away. So yeah, so I'm hoping that we're going to be able to do these on a more regular basis. If you guys are interested in it, we'll be able to do them on a monthly basis, which will be really cool. And we're also hoping to have a much bigger event later on in the year. Alice says, oh wow, that's awesome that you have your own place. We'll have to come a bit later in the year when work has settled down. That's it. We were hoping that they're going to be really regular. The classes in our space are going to be quite limited because we don't have a huge space. So we have to be careful in terms of that. Let me just, apologies, I just need to find my Bristol Super Smooth, which is up high, extra smooth. Which one is the one that I like the mostest? So I've got a few different styles, but I was recommended some. So this Bristol, this is the one. This is nice cardstock. Yeah, super smooth, that beautiful stuff. So let's have a piece of this. I've also got in here some of this aquarelle watercolour, which looks really nice. I've not tried that yet, so I might have to try that another time. But yeah, I've got a few different watercolour bits and bobs in there. Some have worked better than others, but this one I think is one that has worked pretty well for me in the past. So yeah, so we're so the class that's coming up in February, still got a bit of work to do to get that organised. So the actual card that we're going to be making during that class, I haven't fully decided upon yet. But we will be announcing that really soon. So we will be doing a class together. We'll be crafting together a group of up to 10 of us. So, like I say, very limited spaces. And you won't need to buy any kit beforehand. Everything that you need will be provided. But obviously, if you want to purchase any of the items that we use during the class, you can do. You'll have the opportunity to do that while you're there. Otherwise, we will be sharing the equipment in a hygienic and COVID-friendly way, of course. So yeah, it's just going to be an opportunity for us all to have fun, craft together. There will be tea and biscuits because we have time for tea. So there'll be some good old Yorkshire tea on offer, which, you know, #standard. Yeah, pretty cool, I think. So let's load this into my I don't want to lose that because I think that's too pretty. And let's stamp out my little guy here. So we're going to stamp out the little kitty. And what else do I want? Anything else? I do think that these little raindrops are cute, so you could add those into your background. There's some other like little images that are really cool. And then the Sorry You're Under the Weather. Now we might put that on the front, or we might pop that on the inside. I've not decided yet. So, but if we're going to stamp this and we're going to be doing a bit of watercolouring, I need to use my, if I can reach it and not knock everything over, my VersaFine. So the VersaFine is ideal for using with your watercolour mediums because it won't run. So that's good. That's stamped pretty well. It's 1 hour and 20 minutes to us from Claire's. Yes, so my parents live in Nettleham, which is just outside of Lincoln, and it takes me about 1 hour and 10 minutes to get to them when I go visit. So it's not actually a bad run, is it? I don't think, from Lincoln to Sheffield. It's not too bad. We're actually based in a place that is what side of Sheffield is it? It's the Barnsley side anyway. We're which is more north. I think that's more north than south. And is I'm useless at geography, absolutely useless. And is we're actually based in a place called Stocksbridge. Cam says that sounds so fun. Do I know the likely timings of the class? So the likely timings of the class, Julie, I haven't decided on a time as to start as yet. My thoughts were that we would, and you know, depending on take up, we could run 2 in one day. So I could do kind of a 10 till 12 and then maybe a 2 till 4 class. Alice says, that's why I'm here. I can teach you geography in a fun, crafty way. Oh, please teach me where do I live, Alice? And the dates are the 19th of February and the 19th of March so far. So there you go. And did Julie fill you in on the dates? Bless her. That's really cool of her. So, right, let's colour in my cat, but I'm going to try and zoom in. Let's see if this works. Oh, yes. Come on. Zoom, zoom. With my little remote control that allows me to zoom. And then you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. So, my little cat, I'm going to kind of do him a little bit like my little Clyde. It's my little Poly Clyde. And because he's small, I'm thinking these larger brushes might be a bit big. So we could use these little brushes, which are the twin tip brush markers, which are very, very cool. It has to be said. I've got a darker grey. That looks like a darker grey. And is that a black? So my little boy is he's mainly white, but he does have he has little splodges. Oh, that's the wrong end, isn't it? Of black. So I don't really know. I guess how that's going to work here. So I'm using the blender here. Got a little bit of pill in there. So I'm just experimenting here, really. And I'm just gonna. Oh, okay, I see. Well, that looks quite cute, doesn't it? Let me get my got a really fine tipped brush. Let's try a fine tipped brush here. See if that blends them a little bit better. I don't want to oversaturate my paper, because even though it is good for this kind of thing, it will still pill a little bit. That's quite good. And then let's see, where else has he got some markings? We can always make up some little markings, to be honest, because otherwise he might not have a lot of colour. So I'm going to add some little splodges of colour there. Yeah, that's quite cute, isn't it? And then we'll just add a little bit of the paler colour around the outside. And I'm quite pleased with how these are just blending together themselves without me even needing to use any water. So just a little bit of the lighter colour onto that darker colour, and that's blended together really nicely. So these are quite easy to use if you've not used them before. I'm quite pleased with how this is working out, to be honest. And I do think that the this cardstock is a really good shout. So we've got the bit of grey, but to make it look even darker, see, that's a dark blue. That's a dark blue. We nearly made him blue. Noir. There we go. You just needed to read what was on the side. So this, I'm a little bit more nervous about putting this directly onto. So I'm just going to pick that up off the side and add that into the centre. Those areas. That's cute, isn't it? That look alright to you guys? So I've never used, don't really use these markers a lot. Not really, you know, I wouldn't say I was any kind of expert, but just play with them, just have a little go. And then one thing that I haven't done, and I'm just going to let that dry, and then I'll show you another little tip a little bit later for something else to add a little bit more shading. So I'm just looking here at my other markers here for a potential pink for his little nose, because he does, well, he actually has a little bit of black in his nose, to be honest, so we could do that, but I also want to do his ears. So let's try that. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good colour if we really water that down. So a little bit of pink in those ears and on his nose and the bottom of his foot. That's very cute, isn't it? And you can just go directly in there as well with your pen. It's not going to hurt anything. Just to deepen up that colour a little bit. Oh, I think that's very cute so far. Happy with that. Just going to blow my nose. So I'm right next door to your friends in Penistone. That's somebody who's logged in as Time for Tea, so I'm not sure who that is. And who else have we got here? Jane says, can't believe it, on the 19th of February, our friends from Penistone, which is right next to Stocksbridge, are staying with us in the lakes. If we'd stayed with them, we could have popped in. You'll have to visit them in March. And then you could come and see us in March. Joy says, okay, those times sound potentially good. 10 a.m. class means leaving home about 7, but could manage that for Time for Tea. Oh, bless you, that's really cute. Well, that's it. I didn't know whether to go for morning, afternoon, but like I say, we could potentially do 2 in one day with a gap in between. So we could do that instead. So for my umbrella, couldn't think of the word there. So this is the colour scheme that we've got going on. We've got some blues, and this is almost dry. So we've got some really pretty colours going on, very shimmery. So it's always nice, I think, to just have a look at what you've got going on colour scheme wise, so that you can adapt that to what you're going to be doing with your character. And I'm going to have a look for a little bit of a brown handle for the I think there's actually a brown in here, in these smaller ones. That's kind of the closest. That's earth red though. That's interesting. Keep pulling out the same colour. Oh, here we go. Sienna brown. So let's try a little bit of sienna brown, and I'm going to do this direct. A little bit at either end. And then I'll take my fine brush here, and I'm just going to draw out some of that colour into the centre there. The great thing about watercolouring is that, you know, it is meant to be a little bit more subtle. So where you might be like me and struggle with doing things that are I guess a bit more subdued, is that the word I'm looking for? But not quite as bold and bright, then watercolours really help you just really par things back a little bit. So I think that's okay. It's turned out a bit redder than I thought, but I guess that's the sienna, isn't it? So and then for my umbrella, we should really use the same colours that we used before, which now I need to find. So here we go. These are the colours that we used before. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go direct onto my page. And I'm going to add a little bit of the colour first. And then I'm going to draw that out, and I'm going to try with this one to draw the colour out with my blending tool to see if that gives me more control. So it does lift the paper slightly, but I do think that that has given me more control there. I'm pretty pleased with this blending tool, because it means that I'm not adding too much liquid to my surface, which when you're working with a small area like this, that can really be helpful, and it is really pulling that colour out. You can see there in the red particularly, it's doing a good job of pulling that colour out. So that's worked quite nicely there. It's kept the colour subtle, and I can go back over that now because it has added a little bit of I guess a bit of liquid to my paper, so everything's now just moving really quite nicely on there. So I wonder if, you know, a little bit like when you're working with your alcohol markers, if you use this first to add a bit of colour, a bit of moisture, sorry, that maybe it will work to help your colours move a little bit more if you lay that down first. So the only bit that I'm not 100% happy with is because when I did it with my brush, perhaps added a little bit too much water on there. It has bled a little bit around the sides there. So I'm not as pleased with how that's turned out. And I'm not so pleased with that colour of brown being so red. So I'm wondering if I can kind of colour over that. I don't think I'm going to be able to get rid of the bleed doing this, but hopefully I can make it look a little bit less red and a bit more brown. I think that works. And then the only the thing that we could perhaps do once it's dried to clean up those edges is maybe use a bit of a jelly roll or go back over it with our black a black marker pen, you know, a multi-liner pen, Copic multi-liner. That might just help tidy that up. Sienna brown sounds like an yes, it does, doesn't it? This is on Bristol Smooth paper. Yes, Alidelis, it is on Bristol Smooth. I do find that this works better for me moving around the colour. So let's grab our die for this little guy, and in fact I'm going to cut him out first. and I'm also going to just here, right, Bristol Smooth, because I have a little pocket that I put my speciality papers in and scraps, so that I use this later, and I don't want to get this mixed up with my other cardstock. So it's always good to just make a note of that so that you remember that for next time. So let's what have I done with that? There we go. So, and the other thing about these is that it do dry very well. Allardyce says, I have the same issue with the Arteza browns. They have a red base, so when you add the water, the red base comes out. That, I think you're exactly right. That's what's happened here, isn't it? But the other brown shades in the larger markers, the real brush pens, do seem to be a little bit more varied. So shall try using more of them next time, I think. And I will also try using the blender pen, the Tombow one that I've got, because that is going to be great as well. I found that that's controlling my water application, because I am quite heavy-handed. So I'll just cut this out and then we'll zoom back out so you can see what I'm doing, because things are starting to come together a little bit, aren't they now? But before I do that, actually, one thing I said that I was going to show you. Look how cute he is now he's cut out, though. Isn't he adorable? I'll move him up a little bit. So cute. Oh, my little Clyde. And it even cuts out that little bit in between the umbrella and the cat, which I think is pretty cool. So I know this is a bit of a long session today, guys, so I appreciate you joining me. I just think that it's really good to show you some of these techniques. So bear with while I just go up behind me and I grab my Faber-Castell Polychromos, which are very dusty because they've been up on top of a shelf and only really get used for this kind of thing at the moment. But again, I do want to use these more. So for a little chap like this, if you wanted to add a little bit of extra kind of shadow or shading, using your pencils is a really great way to do that. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of scrap here because I want to, I suppose, dull my nib a little bit before I use it, and I do that by just pressing onto the side of it just to get rid of any sharpness. And then I am just going to be really, really delicate in how I apply just a little bit of shading under his chin there. And it's very, you might not even be able to see it on screen. On the bottom of his paw there, and underneath his belly, around his foot, and the thing with your pencils is that you are just going to build up that colour a layer at a time, so it can just take a little bit longer to make that happen. And then one thing that we didn't do, we didn't add him some little cheeks, but if you didn't want to do that, you know, with the, let's try, they're a bit ready, then you could add that with a little bit of your pencil as well. If you wanted to, some little rosy cheeks, just to add a little bit of extra. So that is, again, it's going to be quite difficult to see, I think, on screen, but that's just giving them a little bit of extra definition. Super cute. So that's a good use of your pencils. Adding your pencils to add any shading for even when you're using your alcohol markers is just a really easy way to add a little bit of extra depth and dimension if you're not confident doing it with the medium that you're using, or you're working with a white background, you know, where you want it to be quite subtle. So let's have a go at popping some of this together so that I can work out what I want to do with my sentiment, because I'm not sure. Okay, so this is dry now, and you can see we've got that beautiful dimension. I love this so much. So this is going to go directly onto our background. It's going to be a little bit warpy. Don't worry, it will dry flat. You could add some really strong tape, but I'm going to add some of my Cosmic Shimmer glue because this is my favourite glue to use. It is really good strength. Never had to worry about things dropping off when I'm using this. So get a good amount on there. Like I say, we don't want it to be warping. I like to make sure I've gone right to the edges. Anything that oozes out. Now which way around? Oh yeah, the darkest bits at the top. Oh, I just had to think for a minute then. Anything that oozes out is going to dry clear anyway. Let's grab a couple of acrylic blocks here to help. I've got some bigger ones here. Let's get some of these nice. These are nice, some nice heavy blocks to help just flatten that down, which is just going to be really helpful. Okay, so for you guys that are interested in classes, what are you would you like to see? You know, what particular techniques, what products do you want to try? Anything you're particularly hankering after? You never know, we might be able to do it. We're going to be doing a card from beginning to end, and like I say, I'll be crafting along with you, so I'm proper excited. I can't wait. It's something that we've never been able to do, like I say before, so really excited for it. So hope I put that on the right way around. Oh, can you imagine? I thought I'd done an upside down card then. Shall I zoom out a little bit? That's acceptable. That's an acceptable amount of zoom. So this is going to go on the front of our little rainy background, which is very, very sweet. And then, but I want the rainbow to sit behind. Do you see? Do you see where I'm going? Colouring lessons, says Claire. So a bit of Copic colouring, alcohol marker colouring, is that what we'd quite like? Bit of that. So I'm just doing this to see whereabouts these need to sit. I think, as you guys know, I am very much a colourer inner. I do love my colouring. So whatever we do is likely to involve a bit of colouring, I think, isn't it? So that's pretty much what we do, isn't it? So let's have a look at this. These don't have to line up exactly as they line up in, you know, as the die suggests. They're getting a little bit caught up on my raised background. So I'm going to have a little challenge here as to how am I going to adhere these to my background, but I want them to be positioned so that you can't see the bottom of them necessarily. So let's see if this works. does look very, very cute, doesn't it? This little bottom one's been a bit of a devil. Yeah, that's cute. And then we're going to have our little cat can probably sit there, can't he? Oh, I like it. I think it looks very cute. And then the sentiment that I've got, I had got the hugs here, and the hugs could possibly go at the top because everything's quite bottom heavy, but I quite like the hugs, and I quite like the idea of the hugs being in this dark blue potentially. So I think that's possibly what we'll do. Or we could do, oh yeah. Got an idea. Okay, so let's try and get this stuck to our background. And I'm going to try using the Cosmic Shimmer glue to stick this, because I feel like it's potentially going to work. I'm going to glue this outer one. Now my nozzle's got a bit clogged here. Come on. Let's just double check. That looks grand. So Claire says, how were the droplet effects done? I missed that. I used the tri-blend. So use the tri-blend markers rather than the Copics. But it's the same principles either way, Claire, whether we use Copics or tri-blends. I do have some tri-blends as well. So just make sure that that's sticking down. It seems to be. So the droplets were done with some Fairy Dust Stencil Paste from Lawn Fawn. So really cool paste, very, very lovely shimmery iridescent effect. So I'm just going to make sure that we're still on track with our positioning. Yes, I think we are, aren't we? So we'll line this one up next. So you can see that I've lined up the outer one and then the middle one, and then the other two should, in theory, should just line up nice and easily. Once those two are in the right place, the rest should also fall into place. And we will just pop an acrylic block on these once we've done it to really make sure everything is stuck. And then we also used some of the Time for Tea Shimmer spray on the rainbow. So my thoughts on this are, I'm getting fully rainbow obsessed, so I don't know if this is going to work, but I have, obviously I've got a piece of, what shall we use? Should we use the watercolour or the Bristol Smooth? I'm going to use this bit of watercolour. So my thoughts are, I could use something like this piece here to create my sentiment against a blue backdrop. What do we think? I think that'd be quite cute. It's looking very pretty so far, isn't it? So I'm just going to add to this sheet here and see if that works, because this potentially is just a piece of scrap, isn't it? But not if we don't want it to be. So I'm just going to roughly add more of this colour on here, going straight onto my cardstock, and then we're going to go back in with what do I do with that brush? That big brush is a big brush, isn't it? Oh, what have I done with you? There you are. Oh. Lose things even though they're right there. So let's extending this piece here. Hello Jess, how are you? I bet you didn't expect to find us here today. Bit of pilling, but again, I'm not too fussed. I don't think it's too bad. Once it's dried, that will not be a problem. So we've got a nice little bit of a rainbow colour going on. Just on our little bit of a scrap here. So I've just got to work out, is that enough? That's probably enough actually. So let's give this a little bit of a dry. So you see there I was drying from the front and from the back just to make sure that we got it all, you know, that we've helped with any kind of pilling that there might be. And there is a tiny bit of warping, sorry, not pilling. I'm obsessed with pilling because there are some little bits. But I'm taking my Tombow Mono Sand Eraser here. I'm just going to rub that over the top, and that is going to get rid of that without any issues at all. That's lovely, and it's actually created in those areas just a little bit of texture, which I really like. So it would seem wrong not to give that a bit of shimmer, wouldn't it, after we shimmered up the rest of it. So back comes the little splatter box and the shimmer spray, and we'll give this a little bit of a reactivation. So you want all of the mica to have come from the bottom there by doing it from side to side. Don't try and do it up and down. I'm going to turn this around so it's closer to me, just so that I don't actually spray it all over my my iPad, which is what I'm likely to do. So I'm just going to spray from above, nice and bravely. And let's give this a little bit of a dry. Oh, that's so pretty. This is the prettiest piece of scrap card ever, isn't it? Claire says lots of shimmer, yippee. Jessica says hello, getting better, thank you. How are you? I'm doing really well. Yeah, I'm doing well. I am very worried about my little baby Clyde. But you know, at the moment we're doing what we can for him to keep him comfortable and fed. But he's struggling to eat at the moment, so yeah, a bit down about that, to be honest. But you know, we'll see what happens. Bless him. Jessica's at work currently, working from home for now. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. That's the main thing. That is the main thing. So this is where we're going to cut out our hugs. I don't know which way around I want to. Don't know whether I want to go red to green or green to red. I think possibly red to green, because we went the opposite way just to be different. So I've just cut the rest of the cardstock down because we don't need the rest of that. Pop some washi tape on here. Move those out of the way now. Oh, we're doing loads with the watercolouring today. I'm really excited to be using all of the watercolour bits, because this is something that I never ever do really, and it just creates such a lovely effect. Like I say, it's still very vibrant and really pretty, and I am gonna say something controversial in a moment. I don't know whether I want the bright white. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it would look better with the matching bit of watercolour? What do we think? So this is my hugs anyway. Let's get this. Oh my goodness, look at the hugs. They are very cute. Oops. I love that we've done that in the watercolour. I think that was absolutely the right thing to do. I think that's really, really cute. I don't mind the bright now. Now we've done it. That is because it matches the cap. So I think I'm going to stick with that. So this is very cute. Now the additional piece that she's lost. All right then, what did you do with that? Oh, it's there. There is an outline to that, which we could have done in the blue as a bit of an outline, but I don't think it needs it now. The only thing that I think we might want to do is cut out a couple more of these to build them up, so that we've got a bit of dimension. Loving the hugs. Card looks awesome, says Julie. Thank you. So, and then the final bit really was to put the sending hugs, or sorry you're feeling under the weather, and then just have the hugs underneath. So we've got the sorry you're feeling under the weather as kind of a sub-sentiment that we could pop on the top there. And we do have these cute little dies that are in the set that cut out around your sentiment, and we could do a bit of white embossing onto the dark blue, which might look kind of cool. So that's a thought, isn't it? Should we try that? I like that. I think that'd be good. So hugs. I need some scrap white rather than my stamping white. I have lots and lots of scrap bits of white cardstock, some that I don't really know what it is. So it's always good for this kind of thing. So we can just run a few of these through the die cutting machine, and then we will get a little bit of dimension then, rather than using foam pads, which I think is just such a really great way of doing it. Thank you guys for sticking with me. We're up to to 2 hours now, so I understand if you guys have got to go. This is up. I am not a fast crafter. I think I've said this before. But I'm enjoying my little self, so I hope you guys are enjoying it too. And I'm loving how this is turning out. I think what we will do after this is we'll perhaps do a little bit of a replay, a speeded up version for those of you that perhaps haven't got time to watch the full thing. Okay, so we've got a few of those all cut now, so that's good. I'm trying to speed up a bit now, can you tell? And then we need to do some heat embossing of our second sentiment. So let's pop those there, and let's grab some of my navy cardstock. Got a little scrap of that here, which we've already used for various things. Oh dear, nearly lost an S. Put them there. I'm back. Okay, so we've got a bit of this here. I need, what have I done with it? There it is. I need my little anti-static powder tool. And then I am going to go rogue here, and I'm going to just stamp directly onto this using my acrylic block rather than using a stamping platform. So wish me luck. Didn't trust myself then. Okay. Oh, beautiful stamping. Well done, me. Let's get a little bit of scratch paper here. And we need some nice white embossing powder. And pop that onto there. That looks like it's done a pretty good job. I've got just one or two little sneaky bits, but I think I've got rid of those. And let's just put that there. Put this back in there. Heat tool back out. We've been using the heat tool quite a bit, haven't we? Annalisa says she loves the stitching on the Hugs letters. I do think that just adds a little bit of something extra, doesn't it? Let's see if I can show you this without burning myself. Lovely. I thought I'd done a better job of stamping out the F there, but I didn't. So that's my bad. But not to worry. And then, like I say, we've got this little die here that will cut this really cute with a little bit of a rounded edge, which is a little bit different, I think, to what you would normally get. So when we do the classes as well, obviously we will try and keep to time, because as you can see, I'm not that good at keeping to time. We always overrun, don't we? We always overrun. Right, so, and I'm going to buff this up as well a little bit, because it has got some of that anti-static powder residue still on it, which is obviously can make it look a little bit dull. It's all over my fingers, it's everywhere in fact. So we'll just give that a little buff up with a cloth, just everywhere. Oh, I'm determined to lose these letters, aren't I? So give that a little bit of a buff up. And where we have missed a little bit of the stamping with the F, don't worry, because we can, yeah, that's going to look really cute at the top there, just balancing everything out. I think that's really sweet. So yeah, we can fill that in with a jelly roll pen afterwards. So let's build up our hugs now, and we can start putting this bad boy together. So a bit of glue on there. Oh, make sure your H's are the right way up. There is a right way and a wrong way. And same there. Bit of glue here. Hello there, Tasha. How are you? Lovely to see you. Lovely to have people joining us on both channels. It's so cool. I'm so pleased with myself that I managed to get this out. I mean, how many months had I been struggling with this? Turns out you just needed the right tools and the right platform. Get your S's the right way up as well, people. There is a right way and a wrong way, as I am demonstrating. So let's see which way is the right way. It's very subtle, but it's there. Let's add this one. This is why I love this precision tip nozzle, because it's so easy to do things like this with it. So add that on there. Lovely. And then this one, I'm just going to make sure that I've got this the right way around, because the direction of the pattern of the watercolouring is the way that I want it to go. So, and that's this way. So yeah, I had my extra die cut pieces all upside down by the looks of things. But I just love the fact that that's just got a little bit of shimmer on it as well now. So they've got a bit of dimension. So for this to sit on here, we want some dimension on here as well. So I am going to use some of our large roll of foam tape here, because this is perfect for this. So let's just cut a few bits down and pop this on here. Obviously we're going to have to trim a few bits down so that they fit, but really easy to do that and well worth it. So cut that piece there. Tash says, I know it's very British of me, but the weather is crazy here right now. same here. We've had a little bit of a weather update from everyone earlier on. Some definite windy, cold experiences out there, and also some sunshine for some lucky folks out there too, but not for us, I fear. So I am just being extra with my dimension here, which I shouldn't really be, given that we've been at this for a little bit of time now. But you know, if the job's worth doing, it's worth doing well, isn't it? So there we go. You know me, I do don't do things by halves, shall we say. So, but I don't want any of these bits to just flop. There's nothing worse than floppy bits, is there? Okay. We are getting there. You're further down south than me, aren't you, Tasha? So it's so interesting how, you know, we can be next to each other as cities, but not experience the same weather, and then we are, you know, quite far apart from each other, and we are experiencing very similar weather. So I don't know how it works. Science, as I would say. Other news, those of you that have followed us, we had a baby shower at HQ not so long ago for Aunt's sisters, who are both pregnant, or well, were both pregnant, but one of them has now had the baby. So Hannah has had her little baby Lexi, 8 pounds. I nearly said 8 stone then. that would have been a huge baby. An 8 pound and something baby, big chunk of a baby. God bless her. And everybody's fine and yeah, healthy and happy, and she's home now, which is awesome. So yeah, so now we've just got the other one who needs to pop. So my little cat's gonna come there, and then we're gonna have hugs just here. So let's see where we want that to go. Do we want that to just be a little bit hanging over the edge? Everything's kind of hanging over the edge. And I think even though we've gone with the sorry you're feeling under the weather, you know, the fact that we've got the little rainbow there is still giving some, you know, positivity to the proceedings, shall we say. So yes, congratulations to Hannah and Danny. And I can't wait to meet little baby Lexi. So yeah, the second new baby in the family is due around Valentine's Day. So again, not very long to wait for that arrival. And I think that Laura was a little bit just a little bit larger than Hannah was at the baby shower, so that's probably going to be quite a sizable baby too, I am thinking. So this guy, I think I'm going to sit him directly on there, but add some foam to this side to keep him elevated, is my thought. So I'm going to go with my narrower tape for this bit, because he's a bit smaller, and I only want it kind of this side. Make sure I put it on the right side because I always put it on the wrong side. Can't work out my you know, positioning when I turn it the other way. I'm completely lost. It's like if you turn me round in Meadowhall, I don't know which way I'm going. Actually, that's the one place where I do know where I'm going. That is a local shopping centre to us, which I used to spend an awful lot of time in. More so when I was single and had money. Wasn't running my own business, didn't have any money. Dasha says, this is absolutely darling. I think it would fully brighten up somebody's day. Well, I hope so. I hope so. Oh, and Julie says, congrats as well. I think I didn't see your question about when the other one was due, but hopefully I've answered that now for you. And then this one, should we pop this one up? I think we'll pop this bad boy up as well. Because as Laura Basson says, dimension is life, but I'm not going to sing it. You don't want to hear me sing. But dimension is life. I don't think that there's a card I've done without a bit of dimension. Or a bit of heat embossing or a bit of ink blending. Apart from this one, there's been no ink blending. So that is quite unusual for a time for tea card. Of course, I've put that on totally on the wonk. So that is usual for a time for tea card. There we go. So, wow, I've made quite the mess. It's a good job you can only see this bit and this bit because everything else. So it's going to take me a little bit of time to tidy this up, I think. Final touches. Always the final touches are, let's add a bit of the white jelly roll pen. I'm just going to just check that is free flowing. So you see where my F, I hadn't stamped it very well. I can just go in with my white jelly roll pen and just fill in some of those gaps where I didn't do a very good job. There's always a way to fix things, I find, and that's just filled that in a little bit. I'm happy with that. Obviously we can still do our little bits of jelly roll on our critter even though we've watercoloured in, and onto, in fact I'm thinking that my uniball pen might work a little bit better on this surface. Yeah, that works a little bit better, just because it's a bit of a rougher surface, I think. Yeah, that works a little bit better, doesn't it? And then by the sides of this the umbrella handle, where it had bled a little bit, I have just put a little bit more of the white around the edge of that. That just helps with some of that bleeding. And I think I'm going to say we're done here, because that has been an epic session and I hadn't intended it to be this long. I think I just got overexcited. So let me just show you a bit of a closer look of our card. A lot of work, as Annalisa says, has gone into this. There's got lots of dimension in the background there, lots of sparkle, really cute image. I'm really pleased that I managed to use my watercolours at last. Yeah, I'm so pleased with how this has turned out. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a long one. And I'm so pleased that you guys have joined us, both on YouTube and on Facebook. It's been great to see you all. So thank you so much. And Julie says, she's looking forward to the full detailed announcement of the face-to-face classes. Hopefully I'm going to get that done over the next few days. So by the weekend, I'm hoping that you will have all the information that you need. so that you can you know what you're wanting to, whether you're able to come. I know for some of you it's a little bit of a jaunt, a bit of a travel, but yeah, I think it'll be worth it, hopefully. Tash says absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to see if I can let me see if I can zoom myself onto the big screen. Ooh, that's exciting, isn't it? You can see my face too clearly. So yeah, so that's it for today. Like I said, we'll be back here on Thursday. Oh, that is a close-up. We're back here on Thursday on Facebook and YouTube. So now I can do it. We will be on both platforms. So whichever you prefer. If you like to stream to the big screen on YouTube and then follow the comments on Facebook, that's great. From what I can see everything. And Lisa wanted me to sing "The Dimension is Live." That's all you're getting. Emma says she wishes she lived a bit closer. I know, but you know, we are also going to be doing some online classes as well, for those of you that can't travel. So they will be a little bit different to the ones that we do face to face, because obviously it's always a little bit different when it's online. But yeah, I think we're hoping to offer options that are going to be suitable for everyone. And then because it is a little bit further for you to travel, then we are planning a full day's event towards the end of the year, so that if you want to come to that, you might then want to book maybe a hotel stay over and make a real kind of weekend of it, if you like. So yeah, so that's the news for now. I shall see you all on Thursday for another live, and have a great couple of days up until then. Enjoy the rest of your week. I hope that the weather doesn't treat you too badly. I hope you're all safe and snuggled up and warm, and I'll see you all for another live really soon. Thanks guys. Bye. See if we can turn this off now. Bye guys.